This is Carl at National RV Detroit. I'll walk through this 2021 Mesa Ridge XLT, model number 364 BHS. So I'm just going to take you around the outside and the inside and show you some of the features, some of the appliances and components and how they work, okay? So starting out here at the outside kitchen, of course you have running water. Now your water here drains out the back, so you would use a garden hose to guide it where you choose to. See if I can get this open with one hand here. I doubt it. Oh, there we go. This is a griddle, obviously. You have to turn it on here. This is the gas right here, on and off. Okay, so keep that in mind. Now, you also have a small dorm refrigerator. Works at 110 AC, so as soon as you plug the trailer in, it turns on. Okay, now this door here goes into the second bathroom. Oh, it's locked right now, but I'll show you from the inside. It goes to the second bathroom. It's just a half bath, no shower. This fifth wheel has a 4-point leveling system also, called ground control by Lippert, and I'll show you how that operates also when we get to the switches. There's two ways to operate it. I'll show you that. Just so you know, your slide rooms are, this one here is called an AccuSlide, just in case you need to know that. Now your trailer's dirty right now, and we still haven't cleaned it completely because we're still prepping it, but I just want to get through this and show you these things. So it will be cleaned much better when you come to pick it up, okay? Keep in mind here also this vent up here, that vent is for the range hood. That's over the oven, obviously. So just if you can see, it's hard to see, but inside there's a baffle, and you can either lock it closed for when it's in storage, traveling, that sort of thing, or you can pop it open so it vents to the outside. So keep in mind, if you're going to be venting, you need to get up on a ladder or something and pop that loose so it vents to the outside. Otherwise it'll just kind of stop there and won't go, the exhaust won't go any further. So okay. I get to try and do this one-handed again. I almost had it that one. There we go. So your basement, pass-through basement. I'll open the other side too, but you can see you got a coiled sprayer down there, and you'll also will have your dump hose down there too. I don't think they've put it in here yet. Okay. You have 3 20-pound tanks, so you have 60 pounds of LP. If you do this, it will slide open, slide shut. So there's 2 on this side and tanks on this side and 1 on the other. Okay. Now keep also this has a strong arm system on it. All 4 jacks have it. So the thing to remember is you can tighten this up. Right now when it's loose, this inner tube will slide freely through the outer tube, which would you want when you're raising and lowering it. Once you get it into place level to where you want it, you can tighten these up and it'll take the wiggle out of the trailer. It really stiffens it up quite a bit. So just remember, before you retract, you want to loosen them up. Okay? So when only tighten it when it's in the position that you want it. You have, let's see here. Whoops. You have 2 deep cycle 27 series deep cycle marine batteries in here. They're wired together as 12 volts, so it just doubles the storage capacity. It's still a 12 volt system. This would be the other tank here. Here's your basement from this side. Now, this is your kill switch for your battery, okay? This device right here that's on right now, this is an inverter. It's a power inverter, so it inverts it, which means it takes 12 volt DC and inverts it to 110 AC. this supplies power to your 110 AC refrigerator. So basically, it takes the 12 volts from your two batteries, and it will turn it, which is 12 volt DC, it'll turn it into 110 AC and send it to your refrigerator. So when you're pulling down the road, obviously your tow vehicle's alternator will charge the battery. When you're plugged in, your power converter will charge it. I'll show you that when we get inside. But keep that in mind, this inverts power towards DC to AC power. Now this is one of the controls for your stabilizing system. You push both these buttons at the same time to turn it on. So you'll auto level. That auto levels it. That's you know, it'll just basically it will no matter what terrain you're on, it'll figure out a way to level it. So when you retract it, there's two options: retract all and hitch height. You always use hitch height. Hitch height was the previous height it was at before you auto leveled. So it always remembers the last position it was in before you auto leveled it. So in theory, you should be able to push hitch height and then just slide back under there with your tow vehicle and hook up. If you retract all, it'll even nosedive it though. It'll retract the front landing gear and it'll nosedive. It won't hurt it, of course, but you don't want to be in that position. So when it comes to retract all, you don't really deal with that one. It's hitch height and auto level. Now when we get inside, there's another touch panel that has a lot more. There's more functions anyway. You can manually move them independently of each other, that sort of thing. So I'll show you that when we get inside. So inverter, battery kill switch if you want to shut it down, and your control panel for your leveling system. Okay. Alrighty. So this, we're still cleaning as I stated, but here we go. This is your water docking station. So basically, this is your city water hookup right here. So you hook the hose on there. Now you have to basically look at the drawings here, and then put the valves into that position. If you want to bypass the water heater, you put it in this position. Winterize it, you put it in this position. If you want to fill your fresh water tank, and you put it in this position. And then of course, to pump water or city water, you would have it like this right here, as you can see. So when you put it in this position, it'll just send the city water throughout the trailer. Also, if you have water in your fresh water tank, you can turn on the pump and pump the water. Now if you go to a campground that does not have plumbing on the campsite, you need to take water with you. You can see this configuration here, like that will fill the fresh water tank. So the water will go in here and into your fresh water tank. Then you would put it back to this position here to pump the water, okay? So it has a configuration for everything that you need to do with it. These are the satellite and campground Thru patches. I mean, not campground, but cable, I'm sorry, Thru patches. This is where that coiled sprayer hooks up. These are your front gray and black tanks. Front and rear black tank flush. So after you've dumped your black tanks, if you leave the valve open like it is right here, right, and you hook the hose at the dump station right onto here, turn it on, it'll spray out your black tank and clean off the sensors, that sort of thing, so you get a good solid reading. This one will do the half bath in the back, flush out the black tank, okay? But these just operate like so, very simple. Now, this is your water heater, of course. The thing to remember, right now it's empty because we're winterized and the water heater's bypassed, right? So we have the anode rod / drain plug is removed. It screws right in there. So this takes an 1 1/16" 6-point socket. So you should have one of those with you, with an extension, like a 6-inch extension, and then a breaker bar or a ratchet to tighten it up and to remove it, okay? Now, the switches are inside the trailer. This works on either gas or electricity, but keep in mind, this rocker switch right here, this controls the electric heating element that's behind this cover. See the switch right there. Never use that heating element, or the gas for that matter, when the water tank is empty. You always have to have, it always has to be full, or else you'll damage the heating element. So once you've got it all filled up with water and you're ready to go, you can turn this to the on position. There are also switches inside the trailer. Just remember that this one is here. Okay, that's just for the electric heating element behind that cover. Okay. And this is also an AccuSlide. You can see there's one of your front hookup for your dump hose. And we'll come back here. And these will be the rear hookups for your rear gray tank and your rear black tank. Remember, before you turn on the black tank flush, always have the black tank valve open so too much pressure doesn't build up. This is a 50 amp system, so you got a 60-foot 50 amp cord, plus we give you reducers to reduce it down to 30, and then another one to go down to 20. Okay, you have a ladder, which is really good because the manufacturer states you should inspect the roof every 90 days. So someone needs to go up there, look at all the sealant, make sure there's no crack in or separation where water can get in. Make sure none of the roof attachments were damaged by low branches or road debris. Just give it a good inspection every 90 days. And last but not least, that housing tells us this is pre-wired for a backup camera if you want to add one. Okay? So let's just go inside now. Your awnings right now are extended. Looks like the lights, oh yeah, the lights are on. They're on the end of the tube. This one isn't on, or maybe it's just not, yeah, it's just not extended far enough, okay, to see him. He must have ran out of room. Okay. So here we go. Again, we're still cleaning and prepping, so. Okay, so when we first come in, we'll look at this device right here. Let me see if I can get down here in a good position. This is the power converter. It does just the, whoops, does just, let me see, just the opposite of the inverter. This converts power. It turns AC to DC power, right? So when you're plugged in, this is your AC panel here. It's got regular circuit breakers like you'd see at home, and then they're all labeled, of course. Then the power is converted down to 12 volt DC down here, and you got 12 volt fuses, as you can see, and they're all labeled. This is also a battery tender, like I stated up front. So when you're plugged in, it'll sense how much energy your batteries need and send it what it needs. If they're topped off, it'll just trickle a couple amps to keep them maintained, and if they're low, it'll send 10 amps or whatever it needs. So this will also tend your battery. So this is conversion, which means it's turning AC to DC power. The inverter is the opposite. It's inversion. It turns DC into AC power. Okay. All right. You may know all this. It's just I find a lot of people don't, so I try to explain it the best I can anyway. So your thermostat is self-evident. You just hit the mode button and select the mode you want. This is a remote switch for your power roof vent up there with a power lid on it. Okay. Your rear awning, your front awning, your 3 slide rooms right here. These are just lights here. And you have your gas, light your water heater on gas or on electric. Remember I told you there's another switch for the electric outside. So you always want to turn that one on before you can operate this one. Just keep in mind that you never run it without water in it. And this is for your water pump. That's used to pump water out of the fresh water tank. It's also used to winterize the trailer. Okay. Now you have your battery, which is charged. Fresh water is empty. Black is empty. Gray 1 and 2 is empty. To switch to the second black tank, you go like this, and then check it right here, right? So you have 2 black tanks, and that's how you select the black tank. Okay, once you get, it graduates up in 1/3 increments. Once you get past 2/3, you're going to have to start thinking about dumping the gray and black tanks. Okay. This is just a pantry. Your tables, you have 2 oval-shaped tables. Plus, you can turn this into a bed. Also, this couch here. The tabletops store under here, along with the posts when you're traveling. Okay, one is stowed, one is not, of course. You have a fireplace, which runs on AC power. Excuse my camera work. I should say that quite a bit because I have a hard time. But anyway, so you have a remote for this one. Turn it on and off, of course, like so. Now you can see this. Hopefully, you can see the blue button there, but that's low. That's the fan speed, right? That's high. And then you go to temperatures. They graduate up into 5-degree increments. So you can set your fan speed, your temperature there. You can adjust the look of the flame. And also, it has a timer. So you can set it to, turn on, 15 minutes before you get up in the morning. And it will take the chill out of the area. So let me just shut it off here. There we go. It's a really good space heater. Okay, so the second remote is for your sound, which is the sound bar right here. So this, you always want to strap the TV when you're traveling. Okay, let me just try and get this out of the way a little bit here. There we go. So, excuse me, you got FM radio, you got Bluetooth so you can stream with your phone or tablet to it. You got a USB, so you can take all your albums on one stick, take them with you, whatever. This HDMI is an in. The reason I give you an in is, let's say you wanted to run a portable Blu-ray player to play discs. You can plug it straight into the system right there if you need to. It has 2 speaker zones, 1 and 2. 1 is inside the trailer, 2 is outside the trailer. So it has a lot of functions. And of course your TV works like any other TV. Just remember to strap it when you're traveling so it doesn't fly off. All right. Refrigerator. Okay. Microwave works like any other microwave. Remember, I told you about the vent on the outside, the baffle. If you're venting to the outside, you want to make sure that baffle's open. All right. So this will take a minute to get the gas up here because they haven't. I know the tanks were just put on it, so just bear with me here. Once the air is pushed out of the line like it is now, you won't have to click it that many times. You'll just click it once and it'll light it like so here. Whoops, there we go. Okay, so that's the sparker. You turn it clockwise. Three knobs and 3 burners. Then this one is your oven knob here. The oven's a little different. All the way to the back at the bottom is a pilot light. Okay, so very briefly, you just go to pilot, you depress it like that, keep it depressed, then you light it. After it lights, you'll still hold it for another 10 seconds to heat it up, then you go to whatever operating temperature you want. When you shut it off, the flame goes out obviously, but so does the pilot light. So you have to relight the pilot light each time you use the oven. And always have this closed when you're traveling so it doesn't break. It will break if you don't close it. This device down here is your carbon monoxide LP gas detector. Okay, it's green. It should always be green. So if it goes off, it means it's detected carbon monoxide or LP gas. You take everybody outside, leave the door open, shut the gas off of the front and figure out what's going on. And if it beeps very slowly, it's telling you that your battery's low. So let me run it through the pace here. LP check, carbon monoxide coming up. And then of course your low battery alert. Same tone, just slower. And back to green. Like I said, it should always be green, and if it's not, get it serviced. That's important. Okay. Go back into the rear bunk room here. It's all self-explanatory. You have 2 bunks, of course. This is the way to the half bath right here. It has a vent with a remote here somewhere also right here. Okay, it's got a roof vent there. Okay, so let's go up front. This also is wired for TV and cable, and there's a backer plate right here, so you could hang a TV here. If you're going to get a swing out swivel bracket, it's best to get the scissor type. and the one that locks into place. If you get one that locks into place, you don't really have to strap it. You know, it just makes it a lot easier. Okay. So, the bathroom. Excuse me again. So, you have the same type of vent. It's a 4-speed, or is it 3? Either way, I can't remember offhand. But there's your controller there. Always use the fan with the shower, because you want to pull that humidity out, because these trailers are built super tight now. Also, if it's a time of year where it's a little cool outside and you got a lot of people over in the evening, if you put this fan on low, or the one out there for that matter on low, it'll pull all the condensation out from their breath, so you'll never have an issue with it. So keep that in mind too. This is pre-wired and plumbed for a washer-dryer combo. That is your grill, which will be put together. That hangs on the outside of the trailer and plugs into the LP system. Okay. Now the toilet works like all RV toilets. You can't use it dry. Right now you see there's antifreeze in it. That's what that pink is. There's the flush pedal right there. So directly below is your black tank. It's empty right now. So let's say you just pulled into the campground, you hooked up your power and your water. You come in here, you have 1 dose of chemical, you dump it into the bowl, then you're going to step on the pedal, water's going to come swirling out and wash the chemical in there, plus the water will go into the black tank. And you stand on it till you put about 1 gallon or so of water in there. Some people use more. It's up to you, but the main thing is you have to have water and chemical in it when you use it. Otherwise the smell will be overwhelming, and it also can get clogged up too. So, all right. You have a wardrobe slide out. Second zone here for your air conditioner back here. You have the type of bed that, here, just let me show you. So you know this. Here's the switch up here. So you can adjust the bed up into a sitting or position, I guess you would call it. And you can adjust it down to flat, of course, and all points in between. Same thing with the TV here. You got a backer plate. Try to get the bracket that locks into place if you can. Okay. And last but not least, let me close this door here so we can see it. I told you there was a second way to control the leveling system. That's right here. So I showed you the analog panel, which was right here. Let me just go there and show you. That's the analog panel. Well, there's also a digital one here that has some of the same functions. Lights, for example, can be operated from here. Push devices. You've got the leveling system. So remember I told you there was 2 ways to run the leveling system. This is this particular way has more options. So excuse me please. You have auto level and auto hitch height. Those are the 2 most common buttons you'll use. Excuse me. But if you scroll down, you can go to manual mode, for example. Then you'll push enter, right? When you do that, you can select plus or minus depending on which way you're going. Then you can pick the jacks. You can operate them independently of each other. So that's one feature here that the front one doesn't have. So I'm just gonna push done so we go back. But so that just has some more features. Let me see if I can get this thing to behave here. There we go. You can also operate your slide rooms from here. I showed you it has analog switches, but you also have you can operate the 3 slide rooms from here just by pushing this little button, or you can expand upon it like that if you choose to. So 2 different ways to operate the jack and the lights and the slide system. Okay, let's try to get back to where we started here. There we go. Okay, so let me look around and see if I forgot anything. I think we pretty much got it covered. Let me look around. I think that does it. So I want to thank you for purchasing your trailer here at National RV Detroit. Please remember what I said about inspecting the roof every 90 days. That's the manufacturer's recommendation. Most likely you're just going to be inspecting. You won't have to do anything, but that's the idea. If you inspect it, you'll know that, the roofing material didn't get ripped or something by a low branch. The whole idea is to keep water out of your trailer, so inspection's a good thing. And also, as I stated earlier, this trailer is winterized right now. The water heater is in bypass mode and it's empty, and there's antifreeze in the system. Okay, so thank you very much, and we'll talk to you when you get here and answer all your questions. Okay, thank you.